Well, hello there and welcome to Mind Your Business. I'm Jennifer Anderson, host of the show, also the Executive Director of the Georgina Chamber of Commerce. Thrilled to be joining you all today for our first episode of Season 2. We are heading into the fall. We're getting closer to the fall. And of course, with that comes the changing of the seasons, comes maybe the shoulder season for some tourism businesses in this community. But because of the pandemic, we've really been talking to different tourism businesses who deal with tourists on a regular basis to find out whether the pandemic affected their business, how it affected, good or bad, and really what the future holds in terms of tourism as we head into the fall. I'm thrilled to be joined by 4 guests on the show today, all of which are very much involved with the tourism community. I'd like to introduce them to you now. Lauren Helmke is the owner of Simcoe Lake House. Hi, Lauren. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Jennifer. Happy to be here.
Thank you. We also have Nadia Edwards. She is a mixed media artist with the Georgina Studio Tour. Hi, Nadia.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Swati Gupta is here, and she's joining us from the Ramada Resort and Spa, Jackson's Point Resort and Spa. Hi, Swati.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you ladies on the show, and lovely to have our next guest. This gentleman has been on the show before. He's the Executive Director of Central Counties Tourism, Chuck Thibeault. Hi, Chuck.
Good morning. Thank you, Jennifer, for having us on. That's fantastic to be back. We love the community of Georgina. The stakeholders are so active, and the new tourism plan we put together. We're starting to see what we can do with it in these interesting times that we're living in.
Absolutely. And I'm going to start with you just because of your role. I know you're obviously very active in tourism, have a love and passion for tourism in our community and beyond. What are you seeing? What's been the difference this year in terms of tourism?
Well, I think that the main difference is tourism is not really existent in its traditional form. People are not traveling. I live on one of the flight paths of the airport, and it's these days it's a rarity to even see an airplane fly overhead. So for the businesses and the communities within Central Counties, we've really had to rely on the locals a lot more, and it's really been a shift. To me, it's one of the best things that have come out of this is the recognition by municipalities, by the regions, by the province, that the businesses of tourism, including places like Canada's Wonderland, rely on their locals as much as they're relying on the people who are coming from afar to keep them solvent, to keep them going. And if there's a legacy that comes out of this, it's an appreciation by the locals for the businesses that make their communities a fantastic place to live and work and visit.
Are you seeing that shift more than ever? Because I know we've talked in our tourism center about the idea of people having staycations, people really discovering their own backyard.
Yeah, and a lot of this is coming from, we have the benefit of coming into COVID a little later than some of the other countries around the world. And one of the trends that we started to follow early on was the notion of hyperlocal. People really didn't want to go out any further than they felt comfortable. So suddenly places that they might not have thought of to be somewhere to visit because they go to it maybe once every 6 months in their community became more of a hub, more of a stable for them to go to more often because there was a comfort level there. So it really is, tourism is typically defined as 30 or 40 kilometers plus, people coming in. And now we want people to come from next door. We want them to come from the community next door or right within their community.
What are you hearing from businesses? It really is a tough time for some. Others are really pivoting to kind of meet the needs of their own business and the community. So what are you hearing from a lot of tourism business?
It depends on the segment within the tourism industry. It's not over. There's still a ton of businesses that are struggling. The thing with tourism businesses, they rely on, for the most part, a face-to-face interaction of some sort, and that's what's missing. So we have been opening up. It's not as big a news anymore. The other thing about human nature is we just get used to things. But it really is, for the businesses of tourism, it's still a really, really scary time going into a shoulder season where you missed most of the summer, and now you're going into your less busy season, and you don't even have the funds that you would normally have in reserve from having a busy summer. Restaurants are at a fraction of the capacity. The attractions are struggling to get people to come in. We've got art tours are having to go virtual, which is which is fantastic that we can pivot and do that, but you lose a little bit of that interaction, that face-to-face with the artist that says, oh, geez, I get that piece. I'm going to buy that piece now. So we're not there yet. Even the accommodators. So, I just got back from a little Ontario road trip, and everywhere was sold out. But I recognized later on that sometimes they were only operating at 30-40% capacity.
Right. All right, hold that thought, Chuck. I'm going to head over to a couple of our businesses in this area, and that way we can discover what's going on right around the corner from us. Lauren, I'm going to turn to you. Great. It's nice to have you here. You are the owner of Simcoe Lake House, and I'm going to tell you, I'm like probably many people. I've lived in Georgina for many, many years, and we take that trip along Lake Drive on, as we stroll through Lake Drive and look at the beautiful homes, and I've always picked out one or two that are my favorites, and one day, and what I realized when I met you is the Simcoe Lake House is one of those homes that I had picked out on my what if.
That's awesome. Yeah, we actually have people stop and take pictures all the time.
Yeah, so you are on Lake Drive, beautiful, beautiful home, and it is a short-term rental. Tell me a little bit about the Simcoe Lake.
Yeah, we're a luxurious but cozy cottage rental right on the shores of Lake Simcoe. And I think what makes us a little bit unique is the house was just incredibly wonderfully built. There are 4 bedrooms, and they each have their own full bathroom, which just gives everybody their own privacy. And it's got 2 decks off the bedroom. It's got front and back porches. And so it's just a unique setting itself. And then at the water, we've had a tagline, making memories since 2012. And we really do try to go out of our way. And I love watching people down at the water. We have, paddle boards and kayaks and a canoe and a fishing boat down there. And people play in the water all day. So yeah, it's a special spot.
I was going to ask you, since 2012, so you've seen a lot of changes over the years, none probably bigger than this past year and everything that the pandemic brought.
Yes, I've never seen a year like this. We typically fully book through the summer, which we did, and then we watched it crash. And then we were not essential for a while. And then early June, we were back in business, and I've never seen a summer of inquiries like that. We fully booked again, different people. A lot of our business is repeat business, a lot of it out of the US. So those clients weren't able to come up this year. And instead we had, and often we get families coming in and gathering at Simcoe Lake House. And instead what we saw this year is certainly much more local and single families coming and just getting out of the city or wherever they're living. Right. And so now we have new repeat business for next year. We are fully booked except for 2 weeks already next year.
Wow.
Very, very different.
I mean, that kind of goes to, what Chuck and I were talking about the idea of people maybe planning a little later, starting to plan again. And certainly you see people looking forward to a better year next year. And those plans come with, creating memories and creating vacations for their families.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, this is, while it is a short-term rental, you also have other events and retreats that take place there. Tell me a little bit about the retreats.
Yeah, well, we were just starting into retreats as COVID hit. So we have run 2 retreats, but we've been in pause on that. And we're looking to run another one in November. We're just getting that going because we have seen that people are starting to want to gather again. And we're really focused on intimate gatherings because the house sleeps 10. So we try to keep our retreats as well as intimate as well, just in the spirit of that. And they tend to be focused on women's wellness, which is my expertise on the other hat I carry. And we just love to get women together, connecting, learning about all sorts of topics on wellness.
Very good. And what a beautiful backdrop for you to be able to do that.
It sure is. And a lot of folks, we build in a lot of just reflection time to all of the retreats. People go down to the water or sit on the porch or in front of the fireplace with a glass of wine, perhaps, and just take that time for themselves.
Amazing. And then that's also events as well. It's now, if you are booked, it's difficult to create those one-off events, but they certainly do exist throughout the year.
Sure. Yeah.
Very good. You know, I don't want to bring up a negative topic, but I know that, you know, one of the issues within Georgina was short-term rentals and the accommodations and the different policies and bylaws that were put into place. While this was a difficult time for you, I also know that you had a lot of those policies and bylaws already in place, that you were really following strict guidelines.
Yeah, we've really prided ourselves over the years on running a really top-notch business and being careful with who we bring to the cottage and careful about, you know, the impact on our community and our neighbors. It helps that I live 2 doors over from the cottage, and then we have somebody living in an apartment on site at the cottage as well. So we keep a tight eye. But as far as the regulations and such, we were really proud. The only thing we had to do, we had to put up 1 smoke alarm, and the rest of it we already had in place. So it was kind of a non-event to us in terms of the licensing.
Yeah, I love that because, and I want our viewers at home to know that because of, you know, everything that Georgina went through, that you really were proactive well before all of those policies went into place. Of course, there's, you know, policies and procedures now with the pandemic and things have changed. So have you had to accommodate for that as well?
Oh, yeah, I tell you, when we were deemed back in business, you know, the first reaction was, yay! And the second reaction was, oh my God, because the responsibility of it, you know, both to the community, to our guests, to my own family, to our staff that helps keep it going. It really set me back for a few days to figure out what we needed to do. And we actually went in and we took out most of the decorative stuff out of Simcoe Lake House. It still looks great, though. I was amazed once we took that all out, the bones that were there. We're known for stocking our pantry with, you know, oils and vinegars and all that kind of stuff. And we took that all out. So we really just made it easier to clean, to really get in and clean. We usually try to accommodate early check-in. And this year we found just with the extra cleaning procedures, we're having to hold to a later check-in. But in general, you know, guests have been great. We ask them to go in and out the front door, even though there are many doors, just to kind of keep some separation with the apartment that is on site. And it's worked out really well. And people have been really respectful about their part in making sure that the place is a safe place to be as well.
Very good. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome. Yeah.
I love having you here. Nadia, I want to bring you into the conversation because not a business, but an event. And this year with so many events that were canceled and things were postponed, it is amazing to see that the Georgina Studio Tour is still going to be taking place. I don't know that anybody doesn't know, you know, the Studio Tour, but for anybody who doesn't, tell us what it is.
Well, the studio tour is something run by a community of artists in our area. And yes, with COVID, we really weren't sure whether we were even going to run. We had looked at other tours that were happening, and yes, many went virtual. We just kind of waited it out and waited to see what the town would say and what was going on. Time ago, we got together our new organizing committee, and we decided, let's do it. We felt this was something that our community needs, and I think it'll be really good for us.
I think so too, because in a time where
there have been
for everybody who's disappointed for not having events and not having things take place, it really is amazing that this is going to be happening. It's not a new event. Over 25 years, it has been happening in Georgina and really showcasing what local artists have to offer.
Yes, this is our 26th year, so we're really excited to be doing this. Because of COVID, our numbers have reduced this year. So normally we would have over 30 artists. This year we have 20 artists and 17 different locations. So we're really happy that, we feel that there will be many different artists. We have everything from painters to glass artists, photography, textile, mixed media, woodwork. So yes, we are excited about having the tour on.
And speaking of mixed media, you are an artist that's on the tour.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We're hearing you, but I keep asking questions just to, I want to get as much information out as possible. You are an artist that is on the tour.
I am. We have several different mixed media artists that are here, and I've been on the tour for I think around 5-6 years now. One thing I'm fortunate to do is I'm not going to be at my studio. I'm actually at the apple orchard on Homestead Road, the Homestead Orchard. So I'm there along with 2 other painters. So that's always kind of fun to be able to be there and have the studio crowd coming in as well as the orchard crowd who may not necessarily know that the studio tour is part of that area to be able to come in.
Amazing. One last question for you, because I know, and Laura and I talked a little bit about the cleaning and the procedures. I know the posters show a masked animal, masked cow in all of the advertisements and posters. So you really are letting everybody know that this is a safe and socially distanced tour, and they're still able to enjoy this event.
Exactly. There will be, obviously, since it's a studio tour, there will be artists letting you into their homes. So we do have procedures that will be followed, and people are very used to it. It's the mask wearing. We will have hand sanitizer. And normally we have a big brochure that are, this year, The Cow by Piri Pandy will be featured on. Instead, we will have a smaller version, a postcard size that hopefully our businesses will soon be receiving that can be distributed. Thought it would be kind of fun to put a little mask on the cow to show that, yes, we are being safe during this pandemic.
I love it. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. And I look forward to the end of the month when the studio tour takes place. Swati, love to talk to you. Hi.
Thank you.
Love to talk to you a little bit about the Ramada Jackson's Point Resort and Spa. Certainly you have seen a lot of changes over the last 5 or 6 months because of what's been going on.
That's correct. And it was like when because of this COVID, we obviously see a crash and the market. People don't want it to leave the house, and it was not open. But as soon as we opened 1st of June, were so happy, and that we are back in business. We're happy to be back in business, and the precautions what we are taking to clean the rooms. We have the fogging machines that when we clean the rooms after guest checkout, and we sanitize everything, and then employees went in and clean again everything, and then when they come out, we clean again the rooms. So it's like double sanitization, double cleanliness happening all around the property. And as you know, we have a restaurant, fully licensed restaurant, and we have fully licensed patio overlooking Lake Simcoe. So it's a nice getaway for people, staycation, if you want to call it.
Well, that's just it. And that's something that's important to let everybody know, that while you are a resort and spa, and people think, rooms are available to folks who are traveling into the community, you also have a restaurant where people can go to on a regular basis. It's open to everybody.
Yes. And the restaurant is open to local people, and we have 2 spas in the property, which is open to local people, and now with the discounted prices. And also we are taking more and more precautions because of this COVID happening. And we have a swimming pool and the hot tub jacuzzis and saunas, and we are taking extra precautions in every single way what we can do.
Right. You do have the spa on location. I know you just mentioned it. That's services that are open to not only your guests, but residents of Georgina as well.
That's correct. It's open to public. It's open to the local residents as well.
Right. And a beautiful view outside of the patio, because, you have a brand new lighthouse that's
yes,
not your lighthouse, but
yes. And it's beautiful. And we have a dock on the property, and we have the boat rentals as well. So people are coming from everywhere basically to rent the boats, pontoon boats or sea-doos or kayaks and canoes. So it's a good activity for the people who cannot go outside. They can come to the property and enjoy the full facility, at one spot. Right.
Are you seeing changes now as we get back into, I can't even say into something normal because I don't think we're there yet, but over the course of the 5 months and as we head into fall, are you seeing a few changes with people coming in and staying?
Yes, you know what, I think people are local people are coming more. They're getting more aware of the place as compared to people were traveling before going to the Caribbean. It's like a mini Caribbean for them. And, Georgina is a beautiful place, right? And they can have the lake, they can have the restaurant, they can have the spa and have the rooms to stay, the swimming pool, everything is there at one place to enjoy. So literally they don't need to travel and take a risk. So, and yes.
I agree. I think it is a beautiful place to live, work, and play, and I think you're amongst a group of local businesses and event organizers who feel the same way. So thank you so much for.
Yes. And also one more thing I would like to mention, that because we have 3 banquet halls, so people are coming for their little weddings for 20 people, 30 people, for the anniversary, just to get out of the house instead of going anywhere. So yes. So we take care of everything, and yes.
Right, and we anxiously, with our fingers crossed, we wait for the numbers to increase.
Yes, thank you.
Gathering numbers. Thank you, Swati.
Thank you.
Chuck, I'm going to bring you back into the conversation. These are 3 amazing businesswomen, artists, event organizers in this community. Is this something that you are hearing from the rest of Georgina, from other areas within Central Counties? Hang on.
The same kind of stories. Absolutely. And it is, you can hear the passion, from these 3 women and their businesses. And that's the testament to who's going to make it and who's not. And Georgina really is a very active, the tourism community, the businesses of tourism within Georgina are very active. They work together. And they've been really innovative in terms of trying to figure out how to make the best of a bad situation. The location of Georgina is phenomenal because people do feel that it is far enough away from the city, to feel like you're somewhere else. But it's also familiar enough that there's a comfort level when people come there. There's also a great critical mass of things to do for people. So I think that, if you're looking at my crystal ball for Georgina, I think that throughout the fall season, as the colors start to turn, there's a great opportunity for the businesses in town to work with some of the farm markets and the farms and some of the other agritourism and outdoor activities to spread the people out throughout all of Georgina. It's a big geography, so that there doesn't get that feeling of confinement of all the people that are here. So I think that you will probably through the fall season see a slight increment of people sort of venturing out from new markets in Richmond Hills and Aurora's, coming up for the day or for the weekend. And I agree, like, we didn't go very far. The farthest we went was Manitoulin Island, where we slept in a teepee, which was phenomenal. But there was a comfort level wherever we went. And the other thing that I really noticed is that there was a sense of, and I'm sure that you guys do this too, but there was a sense of a sincere appreciation for us being there, for us actually coming out as visitors to support these businesses. Because within the community itself, it's sometimes tough because the residents, there's still a lot of fear about people coming from farther afield into the area. So
absolutely, yeah. I agree.
And on that note, I do have to leave, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are going to wrap up this show. So it's been great talking to everybody. It's been great to really focus on tourism. And, originally this show was created as a means of getting information out for businesses and to the businesses in this community. It was a show that originally was supposed to start in the fall. And with the pandemic and realizing that businesses were in need of this information, we decided to start it early. And so we are very appreciative to everybody who's watching at home. Of course, you can see other episodes of Mind Your Business on the Rogers TV YouTube channel and the rogerstv.com website. You can head there for information about times when it airs, as well as the other topics in the episodes. On behalf of everybody at Rogers TV Georgina and the Georgina Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Mind Your Business.